Shine, wild ones, it's Bernadette, and I'm here with your Pick a Card Tarot reading for Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. So first things first, this is going to be a reading like y'all have never had because goddess energy came to me, and in conjunction with an animal that I've never met before, and so it's just a day of firsts here at the craziness that is these daily pick a cards, right? But first, please, take a look at the Kickstarter. We're doing great, but we've got to reach that next stretch goal, which is $35,000. It's going to unlock the cat book, and everybody, you guys are, I know you want the cat and dog domesticated, but the book that accompanies the big 700-page book that we're doing, the main book, but I gotta reach $35,000 and $45,000. So tell your friends, tell your family, tell strangers. Because everybody who cares a fig about spirit, totem, and power animals, you've got to have this book. There is nothing like it ever that's ever been and may ever will be. It is 300 animals. It's all color. There's so much information in there about working with your animal spirit guides and getting in deeper relationship with them. It's crazy, cuckoo, go nuts. So, link is down below. And so now let's get on with the reading. Okay, y'all, so here's how this happened this morning. I sat down like I always do. I said, la, la, la. I was doing my meditating, and I'm shuffling my deck, and then I went to pull a card, and it was like somebody had glued the cards together. No card would come out of the deck. It was crazy. So I thought, all right, well, I maybe I didn't hear when to pull. Okay, let's do it again. And I was like, and I tried to pull a card again, and it was like somebody had super glued the deck together. It was nuts. And for those of you just joining me, welcome to the Wild Pack. Just so you know, I do read from my own award-winning, history-making Arc Animal Tarot and Oracle deck. It is based on the Rider-Waite system and has all that traditional tarot card meanings in it. And then it also includes all the amazing power and energy and medicine of the animal kingdom. So if you don't have it and you love animals and you love shamanism, or the natural world, this is the deck to get. Again, just like the book, nothing else out there like it. It is, get the deck. You'll read about it online. The link is below. Okay, so I thought, okay, well, clearly I'm not supposed to pull a card. What is this all about? So I just kind of sat in silence, and all of a sudden, I was standing in front of this giant tank with all of these rainbow fish in it. Now, I know nothing about keeping tanks because, as you all know, my catchphrase and my wish for the whole world is that everybody and everything gets to stay wild. So I'm not a fan. And I thought, what am I doing in front of this? And then before I could even get out, what am I doing in front of this? I saw something out of the corner of my eye. And then all of a sudden, I saw this, what I thought, that's a woman. And she came sliding down and said, skabloosh, right in this tank. And y'all, I know how this sounds. I want you to know I know how this sounds. So when I saw this in my meditation, I have to admit, I'm pretty good at meditations and whatever visions I get in them. I've been doing it so long that I really have learned over time, and I've conditioned myself over time that when something unusual or shocking or just what I judge, which of course you should never do in a meditation is judge or analyze. That's why it's called a meditation. I'm really good at staying present and staying in the theta state. That's what caught me by storm, because I could feel the water splash on me. And then when I looked further, I saw a lady that was all the colors of the rainbow fish. And in my mind's eye, I heard, I'm Iris. Well, okay, so in full disclosure, I used to work at a metaphysical store here in Gainesville that I ultimately went on to be a partial partner in, so on and so forth, called Wild Iris Books. And at first I thought, well, is there something relating to Wild Iris Books? Is that why I'm seeing this? And I got a resounding absolutely not. And I thought, okay, well, I know the goddess Iris really well. It's the goddess of the rainbow. She's thought to slide down a rainbow. She's a messenger. You know, and her male counterpart is Hermes, and they bring messages down from the heavens to mortal men. And she is the goddess of the rainbow and the waters. And so she can go really, really high up into the heavens, and then she can go like crazy, super deep into the water, and of course represent the rainbow. So at first I thought, okay, well, rainbows, they make a lot of sense, show your true colors, diversity, so on and so forth. But what's up with the goddess? Well, then the answer came to me, and I thought, my gosh, the wisdom of the animal kingdom, it just never ceases to amaze me, because this is the thing. One of the reasons that I'm putting this book out, the biggest reason is I was told to by the animal kingdom. No lie. They were like, look, you got to do a book, because there are a number of really awesome books out there about spirit, totem, and power animals. But none of them have the system for working with, their medicine and energy like was downloaded into me. And a good part of that is, taking a look at our, spirit, totem, and power animals. If you make them different energies, a spirit animal is one that comes to you this way, your totem animal is this, and then invoking your power animal is that. And there's a link below that you can watch the video about the difference between spirit, totem, and power animals. The other thing that I was told this morning is that the animal kingdom wants us to deepen and broaden our understanding of the connected nature, of everything. And that when we've talked for a long time, all you wild ones and we've talked for a long time about connecting the dots, but we tend to get really hyper focused on the meanings and the symbolism of spirit, totem, and power animals that are in books, that are online. I mean, I myself have whatismyspiritanimal.com. It is the source for anything spirit, totem, and power animals. There are hundreds of articles on there, and we're adding more every day. So, and in the book, there are 300 animals. Now, 149 of them are in the Ark Tarot, but these are way expanded descriptions. It's not the same verbiage, because it's meant for a different purpose, but not really a different purpose, but it's much, much, much expanded. So, and then there are 151 animals you've never seen before. You might have seen them somewhere, but y'all, we got stuff like axolotl. I got all kind. We got fantasy and mythological animals like nobody else has got. And the reason for that is nature is nature, and animals are animals. Here's what that means. They're, through myth, through stories, through legends, through fables, whatever you want to call it, we create these thought creates things. And so there's an awful lot running around out there that's alive that we don't tap into, because we've been so, the body of work that's been done, getting information out to folks about animal spirit guides has been pretty limited up till now. That, please understand. Well, gosh dang it, that word is so hard to get out of my vocabulary. I hope you guys are working on not saying to people, do you understand, or saying to yourself, I understand. I've been saying that a lot lately, that I read it somewhere. It made such good sense to me that when you say I understand, or you ask someone, do you understand? Those two words, understand, put you in a subservient position right from the jump, that even though the intention is very likely not there, could very, very well subconsciously have you feeling like you're under the person who's explaining something to you, or you're not good enough yourself. So here's what I'm going about. Again, there are a number of amazing books out there about spirit, totem, and power animals, and they have a limited subset of animals in them, and they're generally pretty much the same. There are a couple of bird books out there that just specialize in birds, that have, 30 or 40 birds in them, maybe 50 birds. But just in terms of the animal kingdom at large, and also fantasy and mythological, not so much. And there isn't any book out there that goes into the depth that that my new book does, in helping you find those rituals, those ceremonies, those ways of doing and being and creating that will bring you in closer alignment with your animal allies. That is not bragging, and it is not trying to say I'm the best out there. It's not that. What it is saying is that I have been tasked with expanding or helping people expand your connection with that world. And so when you go into a meditation to have your spirit animal come to you, what would you do if you saw at 5 o'clock in the morning and you saw a lady run, slide down something and sploosh into a fish tank? What would you do? Well, for me, man, I had to sit there and struggle not to come out of the meditation. But what that led me to was this. When I asked, all right, Iris, because I was talking directly to the goddess Iris, I was like, all right, sis, what's up? When she gave me her message, I almost cried. It's just such a beautiful message, and it's so filled with hope, and it's so filled with honest, like an honest wish for you all, for all of us. And that is this, that she asked me, did the fish seem scared? And I said, well, I didn't look for it, but they skittered away from the initial plop into the tank like, any smart critter would do, incoming, ah! But other than that, when she was hanging out in the tank, which she was, and I know how this sounds, I do. No, they just went on about their merry business. And what that really is leading up to is she can go to the heavens. She can dive as deep into the water as possible. And so she's got command of the wind, and she's got command of the sky, and she's got command of all of the emotions that are really, really, when you start to dive deep into that. And then she's the rainbow goddess, and she is in a tank with other rainbow fish, which again, I didn't know really any too much about. I had to look them up, but I just kept thinking, okay, they're all the colors of the rainbow. And I mean, colors like I've never seen before. There's something for you all today that's about going into your deepest emotions and not letting it dull your shine, not letting it dull your colors. So for instance, this weekend, and thank you for everybody that checked in on me. I now I now know I can't hide. When I disappear off of social media or off my own forums, people go, where is she? And I really appreciate that. I was sick as a dog this weekend, y'all. And we had crazy storms, which we really needed here in Florida. But every time there's a storm like that, it feels like there's a truck sitting on my head, or a rhino or something just plopped on my head. So thank you for checking on me. And I have to tell you, I don't get depressed or sad when I get angry. I don't have time to be ill. I don't have time to go down for the count. I just don't have time. I got blank to do, right? Okay. I got magic to, effing magic to make, right? Okay. And that's the whole thing. So yesterday I was like, oh gosh, I have got to feel better by the morning time. And lo and behold, there was a video that popped up in my feed on YouTube. And it was from, I think, America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent. And it was this whole group of kids singing This Is Me from the musical Hugh Jackman. Can't think of it. Y'all know it. But it's that Kira Kyrie or whatever, that song, This Is Me. And all the kids have a challenge of some kind. It was amazing. And so I really thought to myself, wow, Bernadette, stop crying. And I set a very specific intention. And by this morning, it's like a miracle happened. And the other thing is hearkening way back to the beginning of everything, which is one of the biggest messages for you all today. before the weekend, before it was man down, I set the intention because I started seeing this trend of signs in everything around me. And last week I was kind of quiet. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was just kind of quiet because I was sitting around watching. And I just kept watching the best things expand, 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 expand. If I observed somebody being really kind to somebody, it was bigger than I might have seen in a few weeks. If I saw somebody, doing something for somebody, it was more than I've seen. And when people have written in and asked questions or called or whatever, and even during readings, the consciousness is expanding and in an amazing, amazing way that is so hopeful. And I think that's a good deal of what the goddess Iris brought us is, number one, nothing happens in a vacuum. Nothing is an island. So these rainbow fish could very easily be connected to the goddess Iris in a number of different ways. Iris is splashing into the tank. That could mean a lot for you all. That could mean that it's time to come out of the clouds and just, ride your own rainbow until you make that big splash, right? That you'll be fine. The water is fine. Come on in. It can mean so many things. Mostly what I've gotten is that it's time to expand the tool set that you work with when you're working with your spirit totem and power animals. That when you want to call in abundance or romantic love or physical healing or mental healing or emotional healing or whatever it is that you want to call in, when you sit and you can either sit in meditation and do that. I always ask for signs to come to me. And when those signs come to you, don't discount them because you've asked for an expanded way. Like today, not only do you get beautiful fish, right, in the colors of the rainbow and everything having to do with rainbow, but a goddess showed up for you all today. Who can argue about that? And who can argue about that? So I would encourage you all today to go ahead and look up, there are a number of different rainbow fish out there. And it's very interesting to me because the top 8 best, I had to look this up. The top 8 best-selling, I hate saying that, species of rainbow fish, a good 90% of them are from New Guinea, like New Guinea. And, that's not a word that comes up a lot or a place that comes up a lot in my language. But when you talk about biodiversity, marine biodiversity, holy guacamole, my gosh, it's an incredible place, right? And so you may want to read up on Papua New Guinea or just New Guinea at large. And there might be something that stimulates you, but here's the thing. At the end of the day, this isn't about showing your true colors. This isn't about shining brightly. It's not about that. It's about how easy it is for you if you will believe it and you will practice it and you will call on the goddess Iris and you will call on the rainbow fish to help you to ride that rainbow right up to the heavens, get your messages very clearly, and skitter right back down on that rainbow and plunge right into the water and whatever you need to feel or heal or work through or draw upon the power of, any of those kinds of things. Iris and the rainbow fish. Iris and the rainbow fish. I'm gonna start a band of boomers. That's it. Yeah, boomer. I'm gonna start a band of boomers called Iris and the rainbow fish. And we're that would be fun. Anybody out there that sings, hit me up. We'll do one of those karaoke things online together. So there's that. But moreover, you don't think a little fish as being so very powerful. And if they're trapped in a tank, this may be all about you're being trapped and it's time to get out. Or what I think it's more of, what I'm hearing and what I've heard all morning is you really do have the power of the goddess within you, whatever goddess it is. Today it happens to be Iris, right? You really do have the power of the gods in you, whatever god that may be. You have the power of the divine in you because you are the divine. So it's a little bit, that message is a little bit roundabout this morning, but man, I just want to thank you all for showing up and watching and encouraging the daily readings, because as a reader myself, and I hope if you as a reader or any kind of healing practitioner or anything that you all do, I hope this is expanding your way of working with the natural world and the animal kingdom, because I haven't even gotten started on trees yet, and how plants and trees and shrubs and everything send messages to each other through their root system and how psychic they are and so on and so forth. I hadn't even gotten to that yet. But there you go. So please, 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 please get your book. Pre-order your book at the Kickstarter, because y'all, when I check that, the price that is Kickstarter now, that's not going to be the price after Kickstarter. I think I mentioned in a video last week or whatever, paper prices have gone up 40%. Bernadette's got to go up a fair amount in the price of the book after the Kickstarter. So do that. Please get on over to gatheringofmystics.com, gatheringofmystics.com, my forums where we discuss all things metaphysical and spiritual and just all kinds of neat stuff. And pick up your copy of the Arcanimal Tarot and Oracle deck. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's your laundry list. There's your honey-do list. But here's the most important thing. Do good for animals and stay wild.